Have you ever noticed how the word disruption is almost a sacred term in Silicon Valley? It's the holy grail: disrupt an industry, change the world, move fast, and break things. But hop across the Atlantic to Europe, and you'll find that same word is often met with a raised eyebrow, a slight frown, and a healthy dose of skepticism. Why is that? Why does Europe seem to pump the brakes when America is hitting the gas? It's not about being anti-progress. It's about a fundamentally different philosophy, proving the value of change before you unleash it. This isn't just a business strategy. It's a cultural mindset deeply rooted in history that prioritizes stability over sheer speed. Let's unpack this. In the US, especially in the tech world, the narrative is often about the lone genius, the garage startup that overthrows a giant. Think of Netflix taking down Blockbuster or Uber challenging the taxi industry. These are celebrated as epic tales of innovation. The disruptor is the hero. In Europe, the story is often more about the steward. It's about building something that lasts for generations, not just for the next funding round. Think of the German Mittelstand, those family-owned manufacturing companies that are world leaders in their niche. They don't aim to blow up their industry, they aim to perfect it incrementally over decades. Their goal isn't a spectacular explosion. It's sustainable, long-term excellence. This difference is written in the pages of history. Much of Europe is a tapestry of old cities, ancient institutions, and societies that have seen empires rise and fall. They've lived through the chaos of revolutions and wars. This collective memory fosters a deep appreciation for order and stability. When you've spent centuries rebuilding, the idea of breaking things for the sake of moving fast doesn't sound exciting. It sounds reckless. The American experience, on the other hand, is one of a new frontier of constant expansion and reinvention. The default mode is to build anew, not to preserve the old. So when a new technology appears, the American question is often, what can we do with this right now? The European question is more likely to be, what are the long-term consequences of this? This leads us to the role of regulation. In the US, regulation is often seen as a barrier, something that gets in the way of innovation. The approach is frequently innovate first, ask for permission later. We saw this with ride-sharing and scooter companies flooding cities first and then dealing with the legal fallout. In Europe, the framework is different. It's often called the precautionary principle. This principle essentially says that if an action or policy has a suspected risk of causing harm to the public or the environment in the absence of scientific consensus that the action or policy is not harmful, the burden of proof that it is not harmful falls on those taking the action. Think about that for a second. It's the complete opposite of innocent until proven guilty. It's potentially risky until proven safe. This is why Europe is often ahead on issues like data privacy with GDPR or setting standards for AI ethics. It's not about stifling innovation, it's about building guardrails before the car goes off the cliff. The European view is that true, sustainable progress can happen in a wild, West environment. You need rules of the road to ensure that innovation benefits everyone, not just the innovators, and that the societal costs don't outweigh the benefits. It's a social contract. Businesses are allowed to operate and innovate, but they have a responsibility to the society they operate in. Disruption that creates massive unemployment, undermines public services, or erodes social trust is not seen as a net positive, no matter how much shareholder value it creates. Consider the gig economy. In the US, the debate often centers on flexibility and economic opportunity. In Europe, the conversation quickly turns to worker protections, social security contributions, and the stability of the labor market. Is a model that replaces stable, full-time jobs with precarious, piecemeal work truly progress? For many Europeans, the answer is a resounding no. The focus is on the collective, the social fabric. A strong social safety net isn't a bug, it's a feature. It allows for a certain level of risk-taking because failure doesn't mean complete personal ruin, but it also means that business models that threaten to unravel that safety net will face intense scrutiny. This doesn't mean Europe is devoid of innovation. Far from it. It's a world leader in fields like renewable energy, high-tech manufacturing, and pharmaceuticals. But the innovation often looks different. It's more deliberate, more collaborative, and more integrated with societal goals. Think of the transition to green energy. European governments and companies are working together on a massive, decades-long project to decarbonize the continent. This isn't a disruption in the sense of a single startup changing everything overnight. It's a systemic, planned transformation. It's evolution, not just revolution. The goal isn't just to create a new energy market. It's to build a more sustainable and stable society for the future. Another key factor is the consumer mindset. European consumers are often more demanding when it comes to quality, longevity, and sustainability. The culture of disposability is less ingrained. People expect things to last. There's a right to repair movement gaining serious traction, pushing back against products designed to be obsolete in a few years. This consumer demand for durability naturally favors companies that focus on incremental improvement and quality over flashy but fleeting novelty. If your customers value a washing machine that will last 20 years, you're less likely to disrupt the market with a cheap, smart-enabled machine that will break in 3. You'll focus on making your machine quieter, more efficient, and more reliable. So, where does this leave us? Is one approach better than the other? Not necessarily. They are simply different, born from different histories and different values. The American model of rapid, often chaotic disruption is incredibly powerful. It can create immense wealth and drive technological leaps at a breathtaking pace. It's a high-risk, high-reward game. The European model of careful, managed change is slower but aims for a more balanced and stable outcome. It tries to mitigate the risks and distribute the benefits more broadly. It's a lower-risk, steady-reward approach. Perhaps the most interesting question for the future: whether these two models can learn from each other. Can America incorporate more of Europe's long-term thinking and social responsibility into its innovation engine? And can Europe find ways to become more agile and cut through some of its own bureaucracy without sacrificing its core values of stability and safety? The world is facing enormous challenges, from climate change to technological unemployment. We'll need both radical breakthroughs and steady, systemic change. We'll need the speed of the disruptor and the wisdom of the steward. Understanding why Europe is skeptical of disruption isn't about criticizing it. It's about appreciating a different, equally valid path toward progress. It's a reminder that moving fast is not the only way forward, and sometimes the most profound changes come not from breaking things, but from carefully, thoughtfully, and sustainably building them to last. Thanks so much for watching. If this gave you a new perspective, consider liking the video and subscribing for more deep dives into culture and technology. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.